Welcome back to Game Time with Noah and Owen. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. Tonight we'll be kicking off our sports recap with NFL action. What an eventful week it's been.
Absolutely. We'll be starting with the Steelers and the Bengals. There's many games to talk about. We start with the earliest of the bunch, though. Thursday Night Football last week brought a surprise shootout. Pittsburgh Steelers headed to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals, who came out on top 33-31. Dubbed the Icy Hot Bowl by Steelers contract thief Cameron Hayward, this game featured a combined age of 81 at the quarterback position. Steelers QB Aaron Rodgers threw for 250 yards and 4 touchdowns, but the 2 interceptions he threw proved to be his demise. Tight end Pat Freiermuth had the best game of his career, going for 111 yards and 2 TDs on only 6 targets. Running back Jaylen Warren also stepped up, reaching 150 total yards in the game. It was the Bengals' fearless leader, though, Joseph Flacco, the pride of Audubon, New Jersey, that stole the show. In the time when the Bengals needed a QB the most, they got one. Flacco threw for 342 yards and 3 touchdowns, distributing the ball throughout his offense nicely. Jamar Chase went for 160 yards and a touchdown on 23 targets. 23 targets. Wow. Fantasy manager's dream. Speaking of fantasy, Chase Brown finally showed some promise, picking up triple digits on the ground. This division remains in a weird spot as Pittsburgh keeps their position at the top, despite dropping this game to the Bengals.
Moving on to the Giants and Broncos. The Denver Broncos have completed the impossible. Down 19-0 entering the fourth quarter against the New York Football Giants, things were looking terrible. But the Broncos managed to score quickly on a touchdown pass to Troy Franklin and then a 2-point conversion to Sutton. But Jackson Dart and the Giants would just not go away. Dart connected to Theo Johnson to extend the lead back to 18. From that point forward, the Broncos would go on to score 3 straight touchdowns, putting them up 30-26. After another Jackson Dart touchdown, though, Giants kicker Jude missed the PAT, his second of the game. I think he actually just got cut today. This left the door open for Bo Nix and the Broncos, and sure enough, the sophomore quarterback took his team 56 yards in 37 seconds and set up a Will Lutz game-winning field goal. The Broncos moved to 5-2 on the season and remain undefeated at home. Bo Nix threw for 279 yards through the air and 2 tutties, as well as running for 48 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. A beastly performance indeed. Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims added 87 and 85 yards through the air, respectively. And the Young Bucks, Troy Franklin and RJ Harvey, caught Nix's 2 touchdown passes. Hard to imagine a team that does all of this scoring in the fourth quarter coming out on top, but that is exactly what happened in Denver on Sunday. The Giants fall to 2-5, which is good news for the NFC East, although it was another promising game overall from the standout rookies Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo. They were unable to show anything for it, though.
Unfortunately, things went wrong for Big Blue. That's okay for us, though.
Yes, it's great for us.
Both of our teams are in the NFC least. Los Angeles Rams take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Stafford and the Pukaless Rams headed to Europe, and they did steamroll the Jaguars while they were over there. Wide receiver Devontae Adams found the end zone 3 times out of Matthew Stafford's 5 touchdown passes.
On to the New Orleans Saints versus the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears defense generated 4 turnovers from Spencer Rattler, taking away Chris Olave's explosive game, followed by running backs DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monagai, who generated over 200 yards of total offense as the Bears defeat the Saints in Chicago.
The Miami Dolphins took on the Cleveland Browns, and Tua Tagovailoa threw 3 interceptions for the second straight week. The Dolphins fumbled the ball 6 different times in this game, but they were actually able to keep possession on 5 of them. Quinshon Judkins led the way for the Browns with 3 touchdowns on the day. The Browns destroyed the Dolphins in Cleveland.
The New England Patriots took on the Tennessee Titans, and the offensive struggles continue in Tennessee as Mike Vrabel destroys his old team 31-13 in the revenge game. The Patriots currently sit atop of the AFC East. And Owen, are the Patriots finally legit?
Patriots could finally be legit. They have a lot of young talent there with Drake May and the Booty Man, Kayshon Boutte. Obviously, they did make the move for Stephon Diggs, yes. So he has a veteran checkdown outlet. And we are hoping for more out of the backfield with Travion Henderson, but it seems like they're content to feed Ramondre Stevenson.
I don't know.
They have all the tools at their disposal and a good defense. Yeah. The Las Vegas Raiders took on the Kansas City Chiefs. This one was a bloodbath. To be honest, there's not much to say about this game. In Rashee Rice's homecoming, his Kansas City Chiefs decimated the Oakland Raiders. Rice got off to a very fast start, and he looked very dangerous on the field. He finished with 7 catches for 42 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Mahomes threw for 3 touchdowns. Geno got benched.
Wow. It was only about time.
Yeah.
Carolina Panthers travel to MetLife and survive the snooze fest. But they do lose Bryce Young in the process as they hold on 13-6. This Jets team is just hopeless.
I do believe that they're hopeless. Yes, any young talent that they have, they don't know how to use it. Yeah. And I don't think that they should have got rid of DJ Reed. He's over with the Lions now battling an injury. But Indianapolis Colts versus the Los Angeles Chargers. The Colts continue to take over the AFC as Jonathan Taylor only grows his 2025 Offensive Player of the Year campaign, having over 120 yards of total offense and 3 touchdowns as the Colts take the game in LA, 38-24.
On to the Green Bay Packers versus Arizona Cardinals. The Packers defense gets home 6 times, and Josh Jacobs rushes for 2 touchdowns as the Cardinals drop their 5th straight one-possession game, 27-23.
Atlanta Falcons versus the San Francisco 49ers. CMC steals the show once again, this time on Sunday Night Football, as he touches the ball for 31 times, 24 on the ground and 7 catches through the air, for 200 total yards and 2 touchdowns, as the 49ers defeat the Falcons' offense that struggled. Final was 20-10.
Kicking off Sunday Night Football, Tampa Bay took on Detroit, and Mike Evans goes down again, and the Buccaneers' offense goes stagnant, while Jahmyr Gibbs goes crazy, rushing for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns alongside 3 receptions for 82 yards as the Lions roll past the Buccaneers. I mean, this game was crazy.
We feel super bad for Mike Evans, especially because I have him in fantasy in one of my leagues. But Mike Evans goes down with a broken clavicle, and he's going to miss time, not just time, probably the rest of the year. And because of that, he won't be able to break Jerry Rice's record for most consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. Really Mike sucks. Evans could be done playing football. We'll have to see. There's a lot of targets to go around.
Really sucks.
It does suck, but I expect Tez Johnson from Oregon to get a lot of work. Shout out to the Ducks and Dan Lanning.
Although I really was looking forward to watching Mike Evans break this record.
Yeah.
And coming off the hamstring, he seemed pretty healthy, and then down he goes.
He's a very likable player. He doesn't have a lot of enemies, except for Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah, that's for sure.
For whatever reason, those two guys
100%
hate each other a lot.
Yeah.
Houston Texans versus the Seattle Seahawks. To wrap up Monday Night Football action, Seattle's defense clutches up with a lot of 4th down stops. They protect Jaed's explosion of a game, he did it again, and Seattle's 4 turnovers did them justice as the Seahawks hold on against the Texans at home, 27-19.
Some headlines from Week 7. The Panthers quarterback Bryce Young, who has a high ankle sprain right now, went down in the Jets game, is likely out this upcoming week against Buffalo and could be a longer lasting injury. Panthers are on a 3-game win streak. If they weren't playing Buffalo, I would have asked how this would hinder their momentum. However, do you think that Buffalo takes this game following a bye week to turn things around for them?
I 100% believe that Buffalo's going to destroy Carolina, especially if Bryce Young is not available. Now, we already saw that Tedaro McMillan has breakout potential, but it seems like it's going back and forth, hot and cold. They don't know which wide receiver one they want to zero in on. Now, Xavier Legette finally had a good game.
Yeah.
Fantasy managers, if you do have him, you probably don't. If you have Xavier
Legette, it took him long enough.
Yeah, I know. Everybody probably cut him by then. So that's a bright spot for them. But I don't think that they're going to be able to get anything done against Buffalo.
No, especially with Andy Dalton behind center. No chance. Jaden Daniels received an MRI after leaving the game in Dallas. He apparently avoided a more serious injury again, but his status for Week 8 is to be determined. Terry McLaurin did not play again. Why do you think that Daniels seems to be having all of these injuries, and will Terry's absence continue to put a damper on the passing game?
Terry's absence will continue to put a damper on the passing game. You see guys like Chris Moore and Luke McCaffrey trying to step up, but they're not true grade 1 NFL wide receivers just yet. I don't think they can handle the load. I will say that with Deebo Samuel being here and there, touch and go, not being super healthy, Terry McLaurin not being healthy either, I think that their passing game is going nowhere fast. They should keep using your guy, Bill Nye, the football guy.
I mean, he's had a slow start too. The last 2 weeks, he's
crossing there. Yeah, he has been a little slow.
Yeah. Unfortunately, running back Doug Martin, a former Buccaneer, has passed away on Sunday at 36 years old. A fan favorite and the nicknamed Muscle Hamster rushed for 5,356 yards and 30 touchdowns over his NFL career. A 2-time Pro Bowler and a 1-time All-Pro over a 7-year career, and he will be missed across the NFL.
Rest in peace to Doug Martin. The New Orleans Saints lost center Eric McCoy with a torn bicep, as well as Kendre Miller, backup running back, with a torn ACL in the same game. Both of these players will be out for the rest of the season. These injury woes, accompanied by Kamara's faulty ankle and cryptic social media messages and responses to reporters, could pave the way for Chris Olave supremacy. The OSU graduate was once a standout wide receiver who was unfortunately hit too many times in the head and has experienced a lot of concussions similar to Tua.
Too many hospital passes.
When he's healthy, he's elite.
Yes, he's shown that this year. Despite Tua's 6 interceptions in 2 weeks, Mike McDaniel has told reporters that Tua will still remain as the starter. What do we feel about that? I mean, Mike McDaniel, has he still the job?
Both of them, I think their mental stability should be questioned. I feel bad for the Miami fans, and I feel bad for the people complaining about both Tua and Mike McDaniel on X. It seems like there's something weird going on in his press conferences. I don't want to put anything out there that he's doing this or doing that, but yeah, he definitely was like slurred his words and talking fast and then slow. He's just there's something weird going on with Mike McDaniel, and we can only hope that Tua is able to stay healthy because he's a nice guy.
He is a great guy.
You don't want to dislike Tua.
No.
But you also don't really want him to be
your quarterback.
QB1.
No.
Yeah. Running back Travion Henderson of the Patriots was only given 2 carries versus Tennessee. 2 carries.
That's crazy. What is happening?
Versus Tennessee. Now, we talked a lot about Ohio State wide receivers, but I want to give some credit to Travion Henderson because he's not only able to run the ball north to south, he's able to catch it out of the backfield as a running back, and I think that he could be a super talented player in the league. Unfortunately, he has ended up on a team with a stubborn, old-fashioned coach that does not care if his RB1 is fumbling the ball a lot right now. He's just going to keep giving Stevenson touches. But there's some guys that you might want to stash, you might want to keep an eye on, and I think that Travion Henderson is definitely.
It's only a matter of time before he breaks out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's so talented.
Yeah.
Man, both squads this week had pretty good turnouts, following their previous struggle, didn't they, Owen?
Absolutely. 2 big wins and a lot of news to discuss. How'd the Cowgirls do?
Don't be like that. Don't be like that.
How'd the Cowgirls do?
Dude, you're just happy that Jalen Hurts find a way to throw the ball more than 10 yards downfield.
Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. Let's not bring him into this just yet.
No, we're bringing him into this.
Not yet. You can go first. We would love to hear about Dallas.
Sure. The Dallas Cowboys had a huge bounce-back game against the NFC East competitor Washington Commanders, defeating them 44-22 as the offense explodes for 400 total yards. The Cowboys' defense also seems to be finding its stride under defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus, as they generate 4 sacks, a fumble, and a Deron Bland pick 6 that took me back to when he broke the record against the Commanders 2 years ago.
Everybody remembers when Deron Bland did that, yes.
It was amazing.
All right.
I love the way that the Cowboys are looking right now. They, by far, you can deal with this, have the best offense in the NFL, especially now that CeeDee Lamb is back. The offense will be put to the test next week, however, as they take on the Denver Broncos in Denver and their lethal secondary containing Patrick Surtain II. Not too concerned, though, because we still have George Pickens on the other side of the field, but we'll see what happens.
Riley Moss.
Yeah, whatever.
Washed. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Some things to expect from the Cowboys in the future. DeMarvion Overshown has an expected time to return. He has officially been put off the IR and has started his 21-day practice schedule. He is expected to return following the bye week, Week 11, against the Raiders. Center Cooper Beebe has also been activated and is starting his 21-day practice schedule. The Cowboys are getting healthier, and clearly, as you've seen this past week, the Cowboys are getting scarier. The healthier they are, the scarier they are. Also, rumors today that I just found out are spreading that the Cowboys have made calls to the Raiders about Max Crosby. That could be interesting.
White boy Max.
We're going to have to stay tuned about that news. The Cowboys are sitting comfortably at second place in the NFC East and are creeping closer to the Eagles for first place. Seems like the NFC East race will be yet again between these two powerhouse programs. What do you think?
Powerhouse is a term I'd use lightly. I would say in the last couple years, you could say that for the Eagles, for sure.
Yeah, sure.
I think the Cowboys should continue to focus on what they got going on, not put all their eggs in one basket, and, maybe we'll see them in the playoffs.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You will.
That word has been vaguely used across Cowboys Twitter in the past. Cowboys X in the past, however many seasons. But we'll see. You never know.
You gotta say.
This could be the year we dem boys. The Birds played hard at Minnesota this past week, which they do always seem to do. Love my Birds. They had some help from former Eagle Carson Wentz, as he threw 2 interceptions on the day. He was not able to come back from them. The Eagles' passing game was electric, though, with Devontae Smith going for 183 yards and a touchdown, and A.J. Brown finishing with 4 catches for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's right, reached the end zone twice, A.J. did. Barkley was a little bit quiet on the day, but he had bigger things to do in the pass block game. That's right. Big, valuable part of football that could be a piece of why K9 doesn't get the love in Seattle. Rather, it was the Vikings running back, though, in this game, Jordan Mason, who ran past the Eagles defensive line for about 60 yards and a touchdown on the ground. He's been a very healthy replacement for Aaron Jones. For the Eagles, Quinyon did a good job of silencing Justin Jefferson, best he could, but Jaeden did still finish with 79 yards on 5 catches, a couple of which were on the other side of the field. It was his counterpart, Jordan Addison, going for 128 yards on 9 catches, leading the Minnesota offense in this one. Big day for the 2 best wide receiver 2s in the NFC. That's right, Jordan Addison, Devontae Smith. Yeah. I would say that...
You don't think George Pickens up there?
No, that's
Are you kidding me? He's top 5 in receiving yards.
Listen, I phrased it that way so that you would
So I would have a reaction? Okay.
About Pickens. Really,
fine.
it was Hurts that stole the show, though. He was once again near perfect, completing 19 of his 23 passes for 326 yards and 3 touchdowns. Passer rating feed. This young man has just pushed himself back into the MVP discussion, that's right. Amid all the hubbub about the relationship with him and AJ, he was able to feed his guy, play winning football at the same time, and outscore the Vikings, who, when they're at their best, they are a good offense as well. 28-22 was the final score. It's good, but it felt like it could have been a little bit more, for sure. There's still some work that the Eagles need to do defensively. Remember, we have a lot of young parts on that side of the ball. Yeah. We did actually lose Jeremiah Trotter Jr. with an ankle, Azeez Ojulari with a hamstring, and unfortunately Cam Jurgens, that right, Bam Bam Cam went down, and he was replaced early in the game by Toth.
That sucks.
Now, Moro Ajomo, one of my favorite Eagles players, he also took a super ugly shot from his own teammate, Kelly Ringo. What's Ringo doing, man? Don't even get me started on Kelly Ringo. We're going to move on from him. He took a shot from his own teammate, and now he's getting evaluated for possible concussion. I really hope Moro Ajomo is going to be okay. That would be a huge hit for us. He's one of the Eagles' best players on the defensive side of the ball. He's very vocal, he's very athletic, and he's actually still relatively new to the sport. He's kind of got the Embiid thing going on, where he came over from Africa and didn't learn the sport until he was later, like a teenager. So imagine all the potential that he has. His ceiling is automatically so much higher than everybody else, at least in my opinion. Moving forward, I can only hope the rest of my guys in green, Gang Green, that's right, can stay healthy. We are rooting for the Eagles all the way.
I got a question for you. This regards Saquon Barkley. Do you think, this is just spitting it out here.
Say.
3.3 yards per carry, a career low.
That's right.
Madden curse?
Madden curse.
What are we thinking?
Madden curse, folks.
Madden curse?
If you do get the cover of the Madden football game, you're either going to get hurt or have a bad season. We saw that with many players in the past, and now we're seeing it with Saquon Barkley. It's devil magic.
Yeah?
It's devil magic. It's Goodell's devil magic. There's something going on behind the scenes. I won't stand for it. I mean, our offensive line has been different. You know what I'm saying? It's devil's magic. Like we don't have, some of the best offensive line players in the world that are hurt right now. So, yeah, we'll see.
Whatever you gotta say.
Both running backs, both Saquon and Javonte, have proven to be good, but I think they do have high ceilings. They can go even higher. I think Javonte can get more touchdowns. Saquon can break off more big runs. Yeah. We'll have to say.
Javonte rushing for 116 last week in a tutty. So.
If you're a fantasy manager for Javonte, you're happy. If you're a fantasy manager for Saquon Barkley,
not so much.
Hang on. Just hang on.
Hang on?
Just hang on.
I mean, you have no choice. You probably drafted him in the first round. You have no choice.
A lot of people took him in the first round. A lot of people took him like top 5.
I know. I mean, after last year, I would have done the same.
I would have. I know better. We'll talk more. talk about fantasy.
We'll talk about that on Thursday.
Yeah. Why don't we head over to the dugout with Danica?
Welcome back to the Dugout with Danica, where we keep it fresh, fun, and maybe just a little bit Philly biased. And today, baseball fans, the World Series matchup is officially set. The Toronto Blue Jays have punched their ticket to the World Series after taking down the Seattle Mariners in a dramatic Game 7 thriller. The Jays came from behind to win 4-3 thanks to a clutch 3-run homer from George Springer in the 7th that sent Roger Center into chaos. And how about Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the ALCS MVP, hitting .385 with 3 bombs. The guy's been pure postseason electricity. But here's where it stings just a little for Phillies fans. Jeff Hoffman, the former Fightin', was the one who closed out the game and sealed Toronto's trip to the World Series. Yeah. The same Jeff Hoffman who came up big for Philly in 2023 is now slamming the door shut for the Jays. Talk about a trade that came back to bite us, especially after the Phils didn't even make it past the first round this year. Pretty brutal. On the National League side, the Los Angeles Dodgers are back in business, sweeping their way past the Brewers to make another trip to the Fall Classic. Shohei Ohtani was practically superhuman, 3 home runs, 10 strikeouts, and no sign of slowing down. The Dodgers offense is absolutely humming. The rotation's locked in, and they're looking for another championship banner. So here it is. My prediction last week was absolutely wrong. Dodgers versus Blue Jays for all the marbles. Toronto's got that team of destiny vibe going. Young core, veteran leadership, and now a lockdown closer with Philly roots. Meanwhile, the Dodgers are the powerhouse everyone expected, stacked top to bottom. If you're asking me, my new pick, reluctantly, I have to go with the Blue Jays in 7. It just feels like it's finally their year. The World Series is set, the storylines are juicy, and October baseball is doing what it does best, breaking hearts and making legends. I'm Danica, and this has been the Dugout with Danica, where the hot takes are always in season. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Danica. Now let's talk NBA.
The NBA preseason came to a close last week as the final 8 games finished up on Friday night. The best of the best from the 2025 NBA draft class, one of the youngest draft classes ever, continued to show out. Rookies from around the NBA that are turning heads already this year are Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, and Sixers guard VJ Edgecombe. Also got to see some familiar faces back on the court after dealing with injuries last year. Teams with promising futures made their mark, while other teams who still need to sort out some things outlagged behind. The Orlando Magic, San Antonio Spurs, and the Houston Rockets were the only 3 teams to go undefeated in the preseason.
VJ Edgecombe continues to impress for the Philadelphia 76ers. As a longtime fan of the 76ers and a longtime fan of Mr. Edgecombe, I could not be happier for the two. He had 26 points and 6 rebounds in their final preseason game. He looks to bolster up that young backcourt that I've been extensively raving about for weeks now. Right now, another bright spot would be the fact that Embiid looked very comfortable in the preseason. Despite his return from arthroscopic knee surgery, taking longer than expected, he'll be ready to go for the season opener. Once again, we cannot say the same for Jared McCain, as he is due for another evaluation next week. The Sixers are the most unpredictable team in the league by a wide margin. And that's not me saying that, even though you and I can probably agree that that's probably true.
Yeah.
That's actually what GMs around the league are saying. According to the preseason NBA GM ranking survey, the league is on the fence about whether this is a serious team or not. They did rate the Sixers about the number 1 team to be unsure about. Of course, this is as expected. Most likely due to the fact that the big 3, right, more like little 3, of Embiid, Maxey, and George were on the floor together for a total of 294 minutes last season. That's it.
That's sad.
If the Sixers can have those guys healthy this year, comboed with VJ's explosiveness and Quentin Grimes' unguardability, we could really make something happen in the East.
With the Mavericks, Jason Kidd was signed to a multi-year contract extension this offseason, and I love it. He has been an acceptable coach so far for the Dallas Mavericks, and with the squad he's got this year, I expect huge things from this roster.
Yep.
Dallas fans, Cooper Flagg is here. Flagg played very well in the preseason, and I expect the same production as he progresses through the regular season. The Mavs put him in all kinds of different positions, forward and point guard interchangeably. And in my opinion, he looked pretty versatile. Very excited to see what the young guy has got. However, this roster in general is deep. Even though they lost Spencer Dinwiddie in the offseason, who just got released. The signing of D'Angelo Russell was a great replacement, I agree. I would say. Whatever.
I'm just trolling. D'Angelo Russell's very, very funny. Go ahead.
Especially because with Kyrie, who tore his ACL last year, will miss the beginning of the season. There are so many pieces on and off the bench. As long as Anthony Davis can stay healthy, I think the Mavericks can go a long way this year.
Maybe so. You're hinting at what we think they could do as we talk about the standings in just a bit. First, though, after 9 NBA seasons, New York Knicks guard Malcolm Brogdon has decided to retire from basketball. Brogdon, kind of young. We've been seeing that with the NBA. We've been seeing that with the NFL more so with the injuries recently, but guys don't mind stepping away from the game. Another guy that people thought might actually retire if he did not get picked up was actually Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, thank God.
Fortunately, that was not the case.
Glad
9-time NBA All-Star, former MVP Russell Westbrook has agreed on a deal with the Sacramento Kings.
So happy.
The Kings also finalized a new deal for Keegan Murray through 2030. 5 years, $140 million on that extension. That is a super big deal for him. He's one of the 3 players to record 500 three-pointers, 150 blocks, and 150 steals over the last 3 seasons. But health concerns. So we will have to see. Putting your eggs in the Keegan Murray basket is definitely interesting. Is this just representative of contract culture in the NBA? Or is this poor GM and poor ownership? They had Halliburton, that went wrong. Yeah. They decided to go and get the Bulls offense, that went wrong. Now they're signing Keegan Murray for all that money. Well, who knows? You and I like Russ, though.
Yeah, we love Russ.
Yeah.
I hate the slander that he's had.
Russ is a great dude.
Yeah. He's played well. I mean, his MVP season was unheard of.
When I was growing up, the Sixers stunk. That was the beginning of the process, talking like 17, 18, 19 win seasons.
Oh,
so I needed a second team. So I watched KD, I watched Russ, I watched
Russ.
Anthony Morrow, I watched Nick Collison, I watched all those guys on the Thunder. So yeah, we've been Russ fans.
He brings that like physicality to the game. That like is kind of gone almost.
Intensity. He plays at 110 miles an hour.
The Charlotte Hornets have released 32-year-old guard Spencer Dinwiddie, as we talked about earlier. Apparently, Charlotte had to release a guaranteed salary ahead of next week's regular season opener and chose his as an effort to get the maximum of 15 standard contracts on the current roster. Dinwiddie, in the 2 preseason games for Charlotte, averaged 14.3 points and 6.2 assists. This is a very, very weird one to me because he's always been that 6-man off the bench, filled in for Dallas really well last year. I don't know. It's just a weird one to just kind of scrap him like that.
He is an interesting NBA player. I'm glad that we brought him up this week because Spencer Dinwiddie's a bucket getter. That's no question.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's questioning
off the bench
Dinwiddie's ability to get a bucket or even handle the ball at that matter. I think he could start for a lot of teams. But the question now would be his health, if he's in the right shape. And he has kind of embraced this idea of like being the guy on social media that's like, like I could beat anybody in one-on-one, but the NBA doesn't want to see that. Remember, he had that whole thing with the NBA one-on-one contest in the All-Star game. He thought that could be a good idea, which it might be. I mean, the All-Star game is dying.
Oh my God.
We have something on that.
It's dying by the
in
year.
A little bit, but back to the signings, the injuries, all that good stuff. Trailblazers, keep an eye on them. They re-signed young defensive weapon Toumani Camara to a 4-year, $82 million deal. Right after, negotiated a 4-year, $90 million deal with Bounty, Jaeden Sharp.
Yeah, if you want.
The Trailblazers re-signed defensive weapon Toumani Camara to a 4-year, $82 million deal, and right after, negotiated a 4-year, $90 million deal with Bounty, Jaeden Sharp. Between these guys, Donovan Clingan, Scoot Henderson, and the acquisition of absolute winner and ex-Sixer, Drew Holiday, who knows? Portland could make a run. The West, man. The West is tight.
They could be sneaky.
The West is tight, but they could be sneaky.
The Chicago Bulls have signed Mac McClung
Well,
just just to waive him 3 hours later.
Yeah.
Meaning he will most likely join the Windy City Bulls in the G League to start the year, which probably means he will do the dunk contest where number 23 and try and dunk from the free throw line.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when will this guy be taken seriously? And not just, as we said, the guy that just shows out for the dunk contest and makes it look nice. When will Mac McClung, a former G League MVP, by the way,
Yeah, that's right.
be given a chance in this league?
I'm gonna be honest, man. The Sixers gave him one. The Sixers gave him a chance, and he balled out. And then we just got rid of him. So I'm not sure. I don't know what's gonna happen with Mac McClung. I know that I would agree with you on majority of what we've said there. I mean, I think it's about the dunk contest.
Yeah.
White boy Mac, nobody can jump like that guy.
No.
Yeah, he's gonna be turning heads as always. He's a smaller guy, 45, 50-inch vertical. People want to watch that, especially when All-Star Weekend is dying more and more every year. Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. You know, they signed him so they could have him in the dunk contest, but he's a baller. I've been a fan of him since Gate City, man. He was breaking out in Iverson's records down in Virginia. So, yeah.
Do you think it's his height? That's what's people making him concerned? I mean, he's still winning MVP.
His problem was a little bit more on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, he could have active hands and get steals, but he gets bodied up very easily. So, yeah, the height is definitely a part of it.
All right, that's enough basketball. Let's talk about some college football, shall we?
I agree.
There has been a lot that has surfaced in college football recently. Former number 2 Miami has lost to Louisville as Carson Beck throws 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. What happened in this game?
Absolutely no. There's a lot going on, but this is definitely at the top of the list. Miami crumbles under the weight of the Carson Beck implosion against a very, very springy Louisville defense. After Beck's years in Georgia, go Dogs, woo, sick 'em. I still was not convinced that he was a top 5 QB in college. And over the weekend, he showed some weaknesses. That said, Louisville did a great job with clock management, and in the end, they did deserve the win over the Canes. Louisville moves to number 19 in the rankings with that big win.
Wow. Another team that's been climbing up the rankings is Vanderbilt.
Absolutely.
On Saturday, Vanderbilt hosted SEC powerhouse LSU, and they upset them 31-24. They've been doing that a lot this year. Mm-hmm. They are now placed at number 10 in the AP Top 25 poll. Next week, they'll have another big test against the number 15th ranked Mizzou. Should be a tremendous game. How about those Commodores?
How about them? I've been super impressed with Vanderbilt so far, but I've got to say, after watching what this program has been through the past 2 seasons, as well as the SEC documentary on Netflix, I'm not surprised that they're having so much success. Head coach Clark Lee is a great coach and has turned the program around. Vanderbilt, at one time, was the laughingstock of SEC football until Clark Lee got there. QB Diego Pavia is the perfect leader for this scrappy team. On TV over the weekend, Booger McFarland described Pavia as an alpha, aka the man that makes other men around him better. He's a true leader. I think that we should keep an eye on Vandy, baby.
Penn State fired head coach James Franklin after 12 pretty successful seasons. Because he was still on contract, he was paid out more than $49 million.
50, yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of money to just shop a coach.
Yeah.
Penn State is on a 3-game skid and doesn't look like they're going anywhere anytime soon. What is happening to Penn State?
That's a tough one. I've never been a Franklin believer. My dad and I did not believe that he was the right man for the job when he first got there. I do believe that in recent memory, big wins come and are followed by bigger losses. If you can't beat the big team, then they're not going to invite you to the big dance. That has been the story of Penn State and a little bit of modern-day Notre Dame as well, some parallels between the two. But something else that's been going on, a weird team that has been having QB struggles. We should mention that Drew Aller's hurt. The 3-game skid comes when Drew Aller's hurt. But another team that has been experiencing QB struggles is Texas. What's going on with Arch Manning? Do you think that he was the highly rated prospect that everybody said he was, or do you think that the Manning name is doing some heavy lifting?
Honestly, I think that they overhyped him. Granted, in the games when he played like Sam Houston and all these like lower end D1 schools in his freshman year, he played great. He played competent football and he played like he could hold his own. However, again, I still think they overhyped him. I think that Arch Manning is still young in the end. I think the pressure and the weight of, oh, this is our next Heisman, he's only a sophomore. I think that got to him. I think he is trying too hard to live up to that hype to the point where now his talent is kind of sinking. Do I think he can build it back up? Sure.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's rough in Texas right now.
We'll keep an eye on Arch Manning. I don't really know if he deserves the hype. I'm kind of with you. It's a little disrespectful to expect such a young guy to blossom right away. But again, that's what the media does. That's what they want to do. They want to prop these guys up on pedestals. They want to zoom in on every single thing that they do right or wrong. We saw the same thing with Bronny. Hopefully Bronny will be getting his feet under him this season now. Sticking to football, the only undefeated teams left are Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia Tech, BYU, I believe the Naval Academy as well.
Oh, yeah, they are in there. Yeah.
Who has been complaining on social media, hey, get us ranked. Man, that style of football where they just run it. What's that called? Every single spot in the AP Top 25 has moved, except the Ohio State Buckeyes. I don't like OSU. I like their players in the NFL. The wide receivers are ridiculous, right?
Oh, my God.
Terry Olave, Marv, JSN.
The list just grows.
The list goes on and on and on and on. They do have a lot of talent, but I can't find myself to root for them. Undoubtedly, though, the number one dominant team in college football.
Yeah, hands down. Hands down. Heisman Trophy has been kind of bouncing around every week, I feel like. I feel like nobody quite knows who's going to win it, who's not going to win it. However, the list right now in order is Fernando Mendoza of Indiana, QB Ty Simpson from Bama, QB Julian Sayin from OSU, QB Marcel Reed from A&M. How are we feeling about this list?
Right now, it's Ty Simpson. Right now, for me, it's definitely Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that he's the best quarterback in the bunch. I just think he's playing the best right now. I think Fernando Mendoza has the most arm talent in this group. With Gruden on that one, I think that he's going to be the guy that'll probably prove the most in the NFL moving forward, but that's just my opinion. I don't know. Right now, it's Ty Simpson.
I agree. Wrapping up college football, we're going to head to the D3 level here. Monty Quinn of Curry College just broke the NCAA rushing record, rushing for, get this, 522 yards and 7 touchdowns against Nichols College on only 20 carries. I mean, this guy's got to go D1 now after that game. I mean, he just put himself on the map.
Absolutely. Ridiculous numbers, Ashton Genty type numbers, but times 5. We do have a lot of respect for the D3 product. We love to see that. And Monty Quinn, heck of a football player, heck of a game. Shout out to you, my friend.
Enough of college football. Let's kick it to extra time with Owen.
Time for some extra time. Speaking of Chelsea, my favorite team, led by our tentative bald leader, Enzo Maresca. Chelsea traveled a couple hours north to Nottingham Forest this weekend to take on Ange Postecoglou's side. If you are a Chelsea fan and you woke up for this one, then you were very happy. In a passionate but one-sided affair, watch out for those. The Blues were able to quiet the Nottingham crowd and walk out of there with a 3-0 win. In a dominant performance, it was the adjustments made by Maresca throughout the game and then at halftime that led to the team's success. Chelsea scored all 3 goals after halftime, and Malo Gusto, the right back, actually picked up his second yellow, good for a red card also in the second half. Just before the game was over, did not impact our performance. The goals in this one came from the likes of young center back Josh Achiempong, the Portuguese poacher Pedro Neto, and Reece Anthony Davis James. Some other news from the weekend. Bournemouth remain in the top 4 after a fiery bout at Crystal Palace in the weekend. The match finished 3-3, with all 3 of Palace's goals coming from the big man up top, Jean-Philippe Mateta. Antoine Semenyo of AFC Bournemouth, however, continues to turn heads of the larger clubs in the Premier League. We could definitely see a move for Semenyo at the end of the season as he has 6 goals through the Cherries' first 7. Manchester United moved into 9th place, believe it or not, with a big win away at the defending champs Liverpool, two teams that I don't like. But Liverpool looked the more dominant team for much of the match. This happens in a lot of Liverpool games. If you look at their losses, you'll be able to see this same trend under Klopp, under Arne Slot, under whoever. However, they were unable to convert their chances. Their only goal didn't come until 78 minutes into the game to tie Man U. Manchester United, on the other hand, continues to confuse their fans by playing super tough against the top six, but dropping points to the smaller guys. Kind of reminds me of Chelsea not going to lie. United grabbed the game winner in the 84th minute. It was no other than the slab head of Harry Maguire headed it home. Arsenal remains atop the table with 19 points, followed by Man City, then Liverpool, and Bournemouth. Chelsea round out top 5. Sunderland have started the campaign off hot, finding themselves in 7th place, right below Tottenham, after coming up from the lower division to start the year. Newcastle find themselves down in 14th through match week 7, even though it's such an impressive run last year. Can they make it back to European football? Wolves have yet to win a game this season. The only team to not do so. They find themselves at the bottom of the table in 20th. 2 points coming in their last 5. Almost certainly relegation is in sight after that kind of start. Next week, we'll have more action to talk about and even some developing storylines in the Champions League. That's right, folks. Champions League soccer is here. That'll do it for the Premier League Roundup and this week's rendition of Extra Time.
That'll conclude this episode of Game Time. I'm Noah.
I'm Owen. Check back in next week to see us talk NFL, NBA, MLB, and more.